Welcome back to the Conference USA Showcase. In the first segment, we looked at the East Division. Now it's time to look at the West. Now, Ron, Tulsa, the clear preseason favorite, they're coming off a Conference USA championship and a Liberty Bowl win.
It was a great year for Bill Blankenship and the team. 11 wins, tied a school record for the most wins. They get their first title since 2005. But what was impressive for Tulsa was at the end of the year, winning 4 of their last 5 games. And think about it, they had to beat Central Florida twice in order to get that conference title. That was very impressive. You look at the team, Cody Green. I thought at the beginning of the year, Cody Green was a little shaky. Obviously a transfer from Nebraska, actually called a game a couple of years ago when he played for the Huskers. First play, 70 yards on an option for a touchdown. This kid is talented. We talked in the first segment about the defense, and that's going to be the problem. Look at the defensive numbers last year, what this Tulsa team did. They had 53 sacks last year. That is amazing, and 110 tackles for a loss. Incredible. But the problem is you don't have those players that were making those big plays coming back. They're going to have to mix and match parts, but the key on defense, who's going to be that playmaker? Who's going to be that one guy that when things get tough, you're going to come up and make it the big play? And I think that's the question mark for Tulsa.
Well, maybe one of the hottest teams at the end of last year was Rice. You can't deny the momentum of Bill Blankenship and the Owls. They get that Armed Force Bowl win after winning 4 of 5 must-win games at the end of their season.
Think about it. Rice was 1-5 to start the season. Rice fans are going, the Astros are playing today. I don't think I'm going to go to the games. But all of a sudden, David Bailiff and the Rice Owls, they kick it into another gear, winning 6 of their last 7 games, including a 5-game win streak to end the season. Can they carry it over to this year? They've got a lot of confidence, but they open up against Texas A&M. Now, Johnny Manziel, we don't know if he's going to play. Who cares? But the key is you've got to make a great showing against Texas A&M. And I think if Texas A&M takes this team lightly, they're going to be in for a big surprise.
Well, now let's move out to Ruston, Louisiana. In Louisiana Tech, Skip Holtz returning to Conference USA. He was with East Carolina. Now he's heading up the Techsters. Talk about this team. They were pretty dominant in the WAC last year. They had the Freshman of the Year in Kenneth Dixon. Just talk about how they kind of pick up where they left off after Sonny Dykes and that successful year.
9-3. How do you improve on that, especially when you only have 3 starters returning on offense and only 4 on defense? But I love Skip Holtz. This is a guy that's been around. He can coach. Obviously, his dad, a little mild success. So I think Coach Holtz is going to do a great job there, but it's replacing players again. And we spent some time with him back in July, and he is excited about it. He doesn't look at it, oh my, we had 9-3, now we lost all these players. He says, listen, I still have Kenneth Dixon. Kenneth Dixon, 1,200 yards, 27 touchdowns, a freshman All-American on the offensive side of the football. That tells me, okay, this kid's pretty good. And I think Coach Holtz is not going to change what's not broken, because he realizes they've had success in that system. He just wants to tweak it, maybe put his spin on it. This is still going to be an offensive powerhouse.
Well, now let's stay on the topic of new coaches. Sean Kugler, he's the new coach at UTEP. He's not new to El Paso. He was there from 93 to 2000 as an assistant. He also played there. So talk about him coming into this system, and also they have their wide receiver back, but they have somebody new that's throwing it to him.
Now, you and I have met Coach Kugler. He comes up to you, think, oh my goodness, this is WWE kind of guy. I mean, he's like a big, bulky guy. He's going to be able to recruit there because he understands El Paso. He understands the history of UTEP football. This is going to be an interesting year. I think he's got to rebuild, especially on the defensive side. But you look on the offensive side of the football, Jordan Leslie, their wide receiver, 973 yards, 6 touchdowns. Jamil Showers, former Texas A&M player, who obviously lost the battle to Johnny Manziel. He's going to be the starting quarterback. I don't think on offense they're going to have much of a problem. It's going to be on defense.
All right, well, let's move a little closer to our Fox studios here in Dallas and move up to UNT, one of our new members. Now, UNT opens at home for the first time in quite some time. They have Dan McCarney heading up the program and a beautiful new stadium.
2001, last time North Texas actually opened a game at home. Apogee Stadium up there, just go up I-35 from Dallas. It's a beautiful facility, and it's a perfect man for the job of Dan McCartney. Think of what Dan did at Iowa State. What happened? Dan ends up taking him to a couple of bowls. He is a great football coach. He's named Derek Thompson the starting quarterback. Not much of a surprise. There was good competition in the spring. Derek has started the last couple of years, and Dan McCarney's going with experience at quarterback, obviously. Brandon Bird, Antoine Jimerson, 2 very good running backs. They got a nice little 1-2 punch there. It's going to be a good year, I think, for North Texas. Dan's got the plan, just like he did at Iowa State. He's sticking with it. He will be a winner there.
All right, now let's talk about Tulane. Coach C.J. Johnson, he's in his second year, but he's also shuffling things around. He loses his veteran quarterback, and now he has some transfers in the mix. So talk about how C.J. kind of approaches this season, and don't forget, he has the preseason Special Teams Player of the Year in Cairo Santos.
Well, let's go back to last year, because I did about 3 of their games, including the game against Tulsa where Devin Walker was seriously injured and paralyzed. Emotionally, CJ never changed the entire year, and my hat is off to him. He tried to keep these guys pumped up, even though they were going through a terrible time. This is a whole new year for him. Now, you talk about the transfers coming in on offense. They may have a quarterback named Montana. That's right, Joe Montana's son could be the starting quarterback. Just that alone is going to be excitement, along with building the new stadium right next to the football offices. They have got to establish the run game, because last year people just teed off on them on the rush, and they were sacked, it seemed like, every other play. So I think offensively, the offensive line, they got to open up holes for Darkwa, and he's got to be healthy.
Well, finally, let's talk about UTSA. They're in their second year playing in FBS football. They're led by Larry Coker. They have a fan base that sells out the Alamo Dome. Talk a little bit about what we can expect from some of the Roadrunners.
Well, but first of all, hats off to Lynn Hickey, the athletic director, and Dr. Romo, the president of UTSA. For 5-6 years ago, this was nothing but a dream to them. And guys like Brad Parrott, assistant AD, they kept pushing and pushing the community of San Antonio. We need a football team at UTSA. And look, all of a sudden, boom, they're in Conference USA. They get a coach in Larry Coker, who's won a national title when he was at Miami. Eric Sosa is going to be their starting quarterback, very successful last year. This is a big step for UTSA. They're playing the bigger boys right now. And, you know, if history says they may struggle this season, but Larry Coker obviously built this program with a great foundation. He just didn't build a team, he built a program, and that will withstand a lot.
Well, now that we've taken a look at both our East and West divisions, let's take a look at the schedule for the upcoming weekend.